This is going to be a short little lecture on the actual nervous system. So we've already talked about the neuron, the building block, and I now want to describe to you the different types of nervous systems and what they do. So let's just start off with your central nervous system. And that system is made up of your brain, your spinal cord, and that enormous network of nerves that run through your entire body. And you have to understand that, we've already had a discussion about that, that nervous system is the center, the control center for your entire body, and it uses all the information for your actions and reactions to everything. So, then we have a system called the peripheral nervous system, and that PNS carries the messages to and from your central nervous system, commonly referred to as the CNS. What it's doing, it's sending the information to the brain, which then can carry out the orders. So, those messages that are traveling, they're going through your cranial nerves and go to many places inside your brain and can also travel to places in your spinal nerves. So that peripheral nervous system actually has two major parts, okay? And the first part is called the somatic system. Now, and you recall from our discussion on neurons, we talked about the cell body being the soma, and soma meant body. So the somatic system, which is part of the peripheral nervous system, what it does is that somatic system sends sensory information, touch, vision, hearing, taste, smell, and position. It sends messages to the motor neurons to get those muscles to move. And the next one is called the autonomic system. Autonomic. And you know that if you are driving a car and it has an automatic, you don't have to shift. It does it automatically. So the autonomic system is responsible for automatic things that your body needs to keep going, such as breathing, digesting. If you have a dish of ice cream, you don't have to say, stomach, digest this. It just happens automatically, so you don't have to think of it. So here's a really important feature of that autonomic system. It serves two basic functions. And again, this is happening automatically. So it has one, which is called the sympathetic nervous system. Okay? This nervous system arouses and expends energy. So let's think about this. All right. So we often refer to this as your fight or flight system. So if you are in a predicament, your body, your autonomic nervous system will automatically expend energy, focus on getting you out of a crisis situation. This sympathetic nervous system is there as a protection. All right, so back in the day, we are still the original bodies of Neanderthal man, original man, and it really was a fight for survival. So your sympathetic nervous system was there to help you survive, fight or flight. So what happens is once your body goes into the sympathetic nervous system in a crisis situation, it will perform specific duties to help you get through that crisis. So in my in-person class, I always tell the story of my son. I have a son who, when he was 12 years old, he and I were trying to move a boat. My husband had already moved to the next location, and we were moving from Jacksonville, Florida, to South Carolina. And my son and I were to hook the boat up to the back of the truck because we were going to move it up there. So he and I were trying to do this, and trust me, I am not good at this kind of thing of moving a car back, trying to get it under onto this trailer hitch. It was like ridiculous, and he's only like 12 years old. So we're out there trying to do this, and I think I finally get the truck almost to the boat. I didn't want to crash into the boat, and I think we were trying to basically push the trailer hitch up over the ball on the back of the truck. So what happened was that we were positioned on mulch in the yard, the side yard, and so my son was trying to move this boat onto the trailer hitch, and his legs slipped on the mulch, and he dropped the boat, and there's a rod that goes through the trailer hitch, and that rod landed on his leg. I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? And it went right through his leg. And so this was like a really bad situation because we could barely get the energy to get this boat hitched up to this trailer hitch. And here now he's stuck to the ground, and I am trying to fix this situation. So this is what happens, and you'll remember the sympathetic nervous system because you'll be so disgusted with this story. So what happened was that my sympathetic nervous system went into play. So what that meant was that my heart rate would increased, my blood pressure increased, my adrenal gland was shooting adrenaline into my blood system. Your liver will shoot glucose into your blood system, and your body gets like in this mode where you have an energy rush that you just can't even imagine. Not only that, is if you're in crisis, and I'm assuming that my son was in crisis, your blood will clot, and so you don't bleed profusely. So what I did actually at that time was I lifted the boat up off of my son's leg, and you know that would never probably happen again in my life. But I really didn't have any choice. I had to fight this situation. My sympathetic nervous system went into play. It was automatic, and I was able to lift the boat off of his leg, get him in the car to take him to the emergency room. And, after our 8-hour wait at the emergency room, while this is happening, your body will then go into something called the parasympathetic nervous system, and that is when your body is brought back down to homeostasis of balance. So that meant that my blood pressure decreased, my heart rate was racing, it decreased to normal. I stopped shooting adrenaline into my blood system, the liver stopped shooting glucose into my blood system, so my heart, my system could go back to normal. The stress subsided, and my parasympathetic nervous system slowed everything down. Critical to who we are. So here's the rub on this, though. In today's society, the way we live today, one of the worst problems that we have is that our bodies are in the sympathetic nervous system all of the time, and that is a problem. So we have this stress hormone cortisol, and it shoots into your body, and we're not supposed to be in crisis all the time, and so that's a problem. And so our body is in the sympathetic nervous system mode and not enough in the para, so we're in crisis all the time, and this has become a norm when it was supposed to be a fight or flight crisis. So so that's a problem. So this is the end of this discussion. You're going to do your reading, and then we're going to move on to the endocrine system.